Hey everybody, we need your input to help determine the future of LW Clapp Golf Course in Southeast Wichita. We're very pleased to have Brian Fry here with us today. He is the president of the Board of Park Commissioners. Brian, thanks for being here.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Well, first, why don't you just start off by filling us in on what's going on over at Clapp and what you guys are trying to figure out.
Believe me, it's a tough decision. Golf is a delicate business. Mm-hmm. It's a challenging business. I've just recently come across some statistics that last year, 13 new golf courses opened across the country. That sounds pretty great, right? Mm-hmm. 157 closed.
Wow.
The competition is tough. Mm-hmm. And in 2011, we were faced with the prospect of closing Clapp Golf Course. But we put together a really good plan. The community responded well, and we had fantastic weather. Mm-hmm. And in 2012, our rounds were tremendous. They were back up where they needed to be. 2013, the weather didn't respond as well, and it was challenging. And but all along, the park board, the Golf Advisory Council, and the Golf Wichita staff have been working on long-term plans to sustainability, because it is such a challenging business, and we have to take care of our courses. The public expects it, and we want them to be sustainable. And so, we've been looking at ideas and things that we can do to improve our operations. Nationwide, golf is struggling. Not enough people are playing. It's an expensive sport. It's a sport that takes a lot of time to play. And in this environment, that's challenging for people. Mm-hmm. And so we've been looking at ways to increase our rounds. How do we get more people out there playing? How do we shorten the game so that it doesn't take as long to play? How do we make it a better experience for our golfers? So we've been focusing on things like customer service, getting the word out, letting people know what great courses the city has, improving the conditions. We've made some capital improvements at our courses. Clapp has a new parking lot and a refurbished clubhouse, and it looks a lot better. But it's a course that's old, and it needs some improvements. We think we have the potential at that course to create some new experiences that will get people back and get people playing and introduce golf to a whole new generation of people. A couple of those ideas include a driving range, a pitch and putt course that allows families and people new to the game to try it on an easier basis, where it's not so challenging and not so intimidating. But all these ideas, take money, and we've been out in the community asking folks for ways that we can create new revenue streams, and how can we afford these things. No one likes the idea of raising taxes, and we certainly don't want to add any more debt to the golf system. It's already too high, and that's more than just one system. The debt that the golf division has goes back several years for improvements at Auburn Hills and McDonald, and even it goes so far back as Clapp itself. Now, some of those debts have been paid off, but it's still a significant number. So trying to figure out ways to pay for these improvements, that's the challenge we have right now. And we've been out in the community asking for ideas and things that we can do to raise the necessary money without adding more debt, without adding more taxes. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We have some ideas. Some are more popular than others. Some are met with more challenges. But that's what we're trying to figure out. And we've done 3 or 4 civic engagements where we've been out and made presentations to the public, asking for ideas. And we could certainly use more ideas or more opportunities. Like I said, we've got some tough decisions to make. The park board wants to keep Clapp open. We want to keep it there for the long term. It's the best use of that green space. And we want to keep all of our golf courses operating and performing well, because they are a great asset for this community. They are jewels, and they need to be maintained that way. It's just a matter of how do we get people back there and get them playing and get them introduced to the game and do it in a way that is financially responsible. And so we've been asking for ideas, and we continue to. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're taking all the feedback that we're getting from these groups and individuals, and the Golf Advisory Committee looks at them, and the Park Board has been looking at them. We're not ready to make a recommendation yet to the council, but at some point we're probably going to need to move fairly quick. And we just hope that when we are ready to make that recommendation, we've had the opportunity to listen to anybody that wants to give us ideas. But it's to the point where we need to do something. We need to do something fairly quick, because we want to continue to improve and continue to make it enjoyable and develop those players. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
So with Clapp, is that the most underperforming course out of the city's 5 courses? Is there a unique situation going on there that we're not seeing at the other 4?
That course has the fewest number of rounds, and it didn't used to be, but the demographics of the neighborhood have changed. Obviously, it's challenged in that the neighborhood has changed and more people have moved away, and then there are other courses that have been developed, and so that has affected it. The neighborhood itself has gotten older, and not as many people are out there playing as it used to be. So that alone is probably the biggest reason. Certainly the loss of jobs in the community, and the loss of jobs specifically in the aircraft sector, which Clapp is nearby, and it's an easy course to get to for those folks, but if there's not as many of them, then we're going to have that effect as well. We're just not going to have as many people playing. But so that's probably the biggest reason. Just the neighborhood itself has changed, and the demographics surrounding Clapp. Just not as many people are in the neighborhood that can make use of it. So.
Are you guys even considering at this point possibly selling any of that land, or is that option off the table?
Well, that's one of the ideas that has been suggested, is to take a couple of acres, the most commercially viable of that 90 acres is 2 acres on the corner. And there have been suggestions that you could take that 2 acres and reconfigure the course to allow for that 2 acres and still have an 18-hole golf course and be able to use the proceeds from that to invest back into Clapp. And you'd have a better course, you'd have some additional amenities there that make for player development more accessible, and it wouldn't change the overall operation of the course. Like I said, it'd still be an 18-hole golf course. But again, that's one of the most unpopular choices because it is green space. Mm-hmm. But it's the one piece of property that has had any kind of interest from any kind of developers. There's no offers, there's no formal written proposals or anything. It's just been, you should look at that as an option. And that's what people are focusing on. And certainly it's something that is not, would have been our first idea, but it's a real idea. And is it a possible solution? Yes. Is it a popular solution? No. Where do we find that balance, and do we go down that road? That's kind of what we're faced with. Mm-hmm.
Do general fund tax dollars help pay for some of the expenses at the courses, or is it all just player rentals that pay for it?
That's a very good question, and it's probably a point that's not stressed enough. Golf is an enterprise fund. So that means they're responsible for their operations with only the revenues that they bring in. There is no additional tax dollars used to support the operations at the golf system. So it's entirely dependent on the rounds, the concessions, cart rentals, tournaments, the things that happen at the course itself. A golf course benefits the entire community, but its operation is based solely on the backs of the golfers. And that's the way it's built, that's the way we operate. And so those are the constraints that we have to work within. Mm-hmm. But it is, the improvements that we want to make has to come out of the revenue and the proceeds that we make at the courses. And we still have to manage that debt as well.
I want to make sure we understand the process. So right now you guys are just asking for feedback and ideas, but you're not saying, okay, we have 3 options here, vote on.
No, I mean, we'd love to hear additional options. And again, our plan is some short-term solutions, but ultimately needs to be that long-term solution. And we've done a great job at marketing and promoting the courses and getting more people aware of what we got out there. Like I said, we've done some capital improvements and some additional offers and tournaments and things like that. But those are small steps, and to do what we want to do out there, where the opportunity lies, is going to require some bigger steps. And how we afford those bigger steps, that's where we're needing to determine. And so far, those are the 3 ideas we've had. We're looking for other opportunities. We're not ready to vote on anything yet. I don't know that there is another solution out there, but if someone's got an idea, right now we're all ears. We want to know. And it's not a process that's ready to go to council or ready to go to park board recommendation yet. We're still kind of in the listening and learning phase. It's a big decision, and it's a decision that will have ramifications long term, and we just need to make sure that we're as well versed in all the facts as possible.
Is there anything else that people should understand about the situation?
Well, I mean, the golf courses still do very well, and the most important thing I can stress is play your city courses. Play Clapp, play McDonald, play Sim, play Tex, play Auburn Hills. There's a lot of competition in this market, but these are our courses, and the city needs to play them, take pride in them. And if you got an opportunity to play at a Wichita City course, you're doing us a great favor, and you're doing the rest of the Wichita a great favor. There are courses, we need to support them, and that's the best thing we can do right now.
And so if people are listening to this and thinking, gosh, I'd love to weigh in, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, all our information for the park board is all on the city website. We should have a presentation on Activate soon, so people can get more information and weigh in. And we'll have some more public meetings, whether it be a park board meeting or a golf advisory committee meeting. All that information is on the park website as well. And all the park board members' contact information is on there. That's probably the best and easiest way to find us and let us know what your thoughts are.
I have one more question for you. I know you said there was some urgency to get this figured out, so do you anticipate a decision like by the end of this year or early next year?
You know, it feels like we've been working on this forever, and it has been. And I think the neighborhood would like us to make a decision one way or the other soon. But we don't want to rush. It's such a big step that it just needs to be thought through whatever direction we go. I'd hope that we might be able to get some more clarity by September, and maybe by the end of the year have a plan of this is what we'd like to do. But again, I'm 1 out of 7. And, but it's a challenging decision no matter where we go. And I appreciate everyone responding and letting us know their thoughts and giving us ideas. And hopefully we can have some clarity for them before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add?
Play Wichita golf.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching this edition of Local Loop. We encourage you to weigh in on the future of LW Clapp Golf Course.